Hey guys, this is Barbie the Glitter Goblin. I just wanted to talk to you real quick about a technique that you probably already know, but just in case you don't, here it is. So, for the February subscription box, Bees, Bugs, and Butterflies, we were trying to make a card kind of like this. And when I originally took it to the store, I didn't have this honeycomb pattern on the background. I just had some blended orange and yellow. And Emma said, the card's cute, but I'd really like to see more texture on it, more pattern, more something. And well, the only pattern that made sense in this particular case was the honeycomb. But we were out of the honeycomb stencil that we usually sell, which is the Tim Holtz honeycomb stencil. And we're having a hard time getting it in. Now, we do have that in now, so if you're interested, just go to scrappyshack.com and put in honeycomb. It'll take you right to it. But I was trying to figure out how can I put a honeycomb pattern on here with no honeycomb stencil. The card was already more or less made. I was just trying to add to it. And Emma said, oh, remember you can make a stencil with a die. And I happened to have this Crafter's Companion die at home that I had picked up somewhere. I don't think it's one that we can get anymore. But so what we ended up doing is we used this for the example, and then we use our Scrappy Shack premium cardstock and cut one of these for each of you and sent it to you so you could use it to make your honeycomb pattern on your card. So I just wanted to remind you that you can do that. And if you've never seen that before, now the one thing is that this is cardstock, so it is a little bit on the fragile side. I could put this over this whole entire tag, or I could put the whole thing over the entire tag, and I can use, let me do this. I've got Wild Honey Distress Oxide. All right, so, and I've got this really kind of bright yellow tag. Sorry, it was just a scrap in my stash, so I turned it into a tag, and don't mean to blind you, but all right, so probably I would do better if I had a sticky mat under this, but since I didn't think about it until just now when the stencil started to move all over the place, we're gonna roll with just holding it down. So I'm putting Wild Honey. I think I've got it on most of this card now. And I'm gonna, I got it on a good chunk anyway. So I'm gonna lift that up and let you see it. It just adds, ooh, you can hardly see it in the camera. Okay, there we go. It just adds a little bit of background, little bit of texture and color. If I really wanted to make that more profound, I might use something like Vintage Oxide. This really was a dark. Let me see if I can get this lined up again. Oh, I think that's pretty close. So I've got my stencil lined back up. Of course, there's plenty of lines for me to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go put it through dark in a couple of spots here instead of the whole thing. So you'll have both. You'll have the darker pattern and the lighter pattern. So there are some honeycombs on here that barely show at all. They're just the Wild Honey color. And then there are others that are combined with the Vintage Photo. But here's the other thing that I wanted to tell you, just so you can get some use out of these materials. This stencil is not going to last you forever, okay? It is, I'm just adding a little bit more color to it. It is cardstock. After it gets wet with ink a couple of times, it's going to tear apart. And what I'm going to do right now is just add a wee bit more color to the actual stencil. Of course, it's going to get on this scratch piece of paper that I have underneath, but whoop, wrinkled it up good there. But that's okay. That's going to suit my purposes. So this next tag, what I'm going to do, let me flip that over so you're not distracted by that pattern. This next tag, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and tear my stencil up. Okay, it's about had it. It's seen better days, and I'm just tearing a chunk of the stencil pretty randomly, and I'm going to put a little bit of, I didn't come prepared for this video. I don't know what I was thinking. I meant to just paint this glue on with a paintbrush and didn't bring the paintbrush, and I'm not gonna make you wait while I go chase after one. So I'm just gonna stick my finger in the glue that's not enough glue. I'll clean my mat off in a little bit. And then I'm just going to stick this on, and I'm not looking to make a finished project today. So, you know, this is just, I still don't have enough glue. What's with the glue today? If I wanted to make this a finished product, I would probably add a bee to it, maybe a flower or two, do some things to tone down the brightness in the background. But I just wanted you to see that instead of throwing that stencil away at the end, that you could get some additional use out of it. You know, and once I toned it down, added a bee, maybe some flowers, maybe a little border around the edge, a little ribbon that was a little bit dark. Grab some scissors. These aren't going to cut very well. They've got glue all over them from something else I was doing earlier this morning. But grab some scissors and trim that off. You know, I'm gonna get an additional project out of that. So don't waste your stencil once it starts to die. Go ahead and give it some use too. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.